I recently began exploring the world of AI art with Midjourney. It's a tool that can bring anything from your imagination to life, no matter how surreal or abstract. If you browse the community showcase at Midjourney, you can find all kinds of creations from character concepts to fantasy art. In theory, AI can create anything, so I started thinking of some ideas that would really test out its capabilities. Then I looked down and saw one of my son's Dino-Truck toys. It's a cross between a dinosaur and a monster truck. A huge T-Rex head with a pickup truck body and big trunky wheels. But how would it be interpreted by the Midjourney AI? Let's find out. If you want to get to grips with Midjourney yourself, I already uploaded a video showing how you can get started and how to create your first piece of AI art. Follow the link in the description to check it out. In order to give the Midjourney bot a clue as to what I was looking to create, I first took a quick photo of the Dino-Truck in question. The subject was clipped out in Photoshop and placed on a clean white background. Then the image was cropped to a 3:2 ratio to match the aspect ratio command I'll be adding to my Midjourney prompt. More on that later. Stick around because later in the video I'll also show what results are generated by just using a descriptive prompt without the use of this reference photo. To use a reference photo, it first needs adding to the Discord chat so you can copy the image link. Just add it to your message or drag and drop it in. You can then right click on the image and choose copy image address. Then we need to add our prompt. It starts with the command /imagine, then the image URL is pasted in. Next I try and give a description of this dino toy. It's recommended to try and use adjective style phrases, so I started with a cinematic action shot of a... This is a recommended way to ask Midjourney to create a photographic result like a still from a movie, rather than an artistic or painted effect. Next I tried to describe what the hell this Dino-Truck is, literally. T-Rex head with the body of a tan pickup truck. There are many ways it could be described, but this mentions the T-Rex head as the main component, but then gives the AI something to do with the body. Otherwise, from experience I've noticed that it can try to incorporate the rest of the dinosaur into the image somehow. Then the particular mention of a tan pickup truck is a very specific instruction for the colour and type of vehicle. Large monster truck wheels is another key feature. Anything you don't specifically ask for, Midjourney will interpret it itself. To be honest, anything you do ask for may or may not be interpreted as you want, but the more instructions you can give, the better. You can see here I was tempted to write crashing through the forest, but I thought crashing could possibly infer that it is literally crashing into a tree, who knows. Instead I wrote racing through the forest trees to try and provide a scene and an action for the Dino-Truck. By default Midjourney will generate square images, but you can specify landscape or portrait images using the parameter --AR, then 3:2 for landscape or 2:3 for portrait. The command is submitted to see what Midjourney will come up with. This is probably the most exciting part of the process. Watching those blurry images develop, you never know what you're going to get. In the meanwhile, if I type in /settings, you can see the options I'm using. V4, which is the latest at the time of recording this video, and the medium style. The first round of images is pretty successful. It has interpreted the prompt really well thanks to the reference image. Let's try altering some of those settings and running the same prompt again. Under settings I changed the quality to 2 times and the style to very high. A copy paste of the same prompt won't necessarily produce the same subject or composition, but it will give a good comparison of the overall quality. These results aren't bad either, but there's some weird things happening in the eyes. I think this is a direct result of the very high style setting. Let's change it to high and try again. You can see the extra parameters that have been automatically added to these prompts. --S750 for very high, S250 for high, and Q2. These could all be written manually rather than visually changing the settings buttons. These results are good too. There's not a huge difference between the different style settings. You can already see the different interpretations emerging as it tries out different poses, truck body shapes, and even ways that the head actually attaches to the truck. Let's re-roll all 3 to produce loads more results to consider. I'm also going to try out the remix mode, which allows you to tweak the prompt slightly before creating a variation. Number 4 from the very first result is one of my favourites. but I want to see if adding the parameters for the higher quality and style makes any difference. So I add --S750 and --Q2 to the end of the prompts. We've got a thorough range of compositions to consider now. They're all following roughly the same pattern, so I think the AI has exhausted all interpretations of these prompts, since they're all very similar. With the exception of this guy, what's going on there? From here I simply go through all the results and click both upscale and the relevant variations button for each one, just to provide as many options to choose from as possible. Any that don't end up being close to what I'm looking for can be deleted from the feed to keep things tidy by reacting with an emoji, then choose the red cross symbol. I've pretty much narrowed it down to this composition. Now it's just a case of finding the right version. Some of them are getting a little too weird with creepy eyes or multiple nostrils. The reference image has done a great job of giving the AI a clear direction, which helped to produce accurate results right from the start. But let's see how this prompt is interpreted as just the text prompt without the image. The basic idea is there, but there's a clear distinction between having a T-Rex head stuck on the front of a truck versus the head actually replacing the front of the truck. This is where that image seems to have really helped define what it should look like. You can also see the differences in the actual style of truck too. The image prompt created a boxy tan coloured pickup right from the start, whereas this text prompt features all kinds of different truck body styles. But here's the final Dino-Truck in all its glory. It's so cool to see this little toy brought to life with no digital painting or 3D modelling required. My son actually has a few more dinosaur cars in his toy box, so maybe the Triceratruck will have to be next. If you enjoyed this tutorial or learned any new tips and tricks, a thumbs up on the video would be really appreciated. Stick around for more of my content by subscribing to the channel, and be sure to join my mailing list at Spoon Graphics to download all my free design resources. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.